difficulty.
Welcome to a Classic Game Room Strategic Hyper Instructional Tactics review. Get your laser chainsaw ready because we're going underground in Mission 6, the first underground level in Earth Defense Force 4.1 on the PlayStation 4 here. And these underground cave missions have been a real part of the series, a real staple since the beginning. And they're not my favorite missions, but they're still fun, and they require different strategy and different weapons than the outdoor missions, especially when you're playing as Wing Diver, which I'm doing here. I'm playing as Wing Diver on hardest because Inferno is just pretty much impossible on the underground levels with Wing Diver. Because once she gets surrounded, that's it. And this mission has ants and spiders that shoot at you. And that makes it hard. This is when the game stops being polite and starts getting death-tastic, as I like to say.
Let's go. Yes, sir!
Which I do like to say frequently. Hey, Twitter's blowing up today. I know, Earth Defense Force is awesome. I do not recommend going into this level with any sort of an explosive weapon, especially as Wing Diver, because it is really easy to blow yourself up, especially in situations like this where the ants swarm you and they're shooting at you and they're right up in your face. If you shoot one of the plasma rockets or something right at them, you're going to blow yourself up in the process. You actually do more damage to yourself than they do. So I like something like the laser chainsaw. For lots of reasons. Obviously, number one, it's a laser chainsaw. Number two, it's just really good for this mission. You can just swing this thing back and forth and chainsaw ants to death. And then I bring in my Laser 300, which is really like my default weapon for Wing Diver. It uses ammunition. And in fact, both of these weapons use ammo, which is good. So the laser is good for just picking them off at a distance, or at least a bit of a distance. And then when they get up in your face, you break out the chainsaw, the laser chainsaw, which acts like a bit of a shotgun in these situations. You can really tear them to pieces up close. It's not so good though if you're going to go in Inferno, because then one hit and you're dead more or less. Now most of these underground missions aren't the most visually exciting, so playing them late at night, if your eyes are tired, you may fall asleep and be eaten by ants. Not that this has ever happened to me.
The Ravagers might just be waiting for humans to be destroyed.
Or at least not often. Keep an eye on the ceilings. And this one's pretty easy since it's the first underground mission. But it still packs a couple waves. So especially if you're new to the game, just don't go charging in there. I mean, I'm playing this one a little more cavalier than I might normally do it because I'm just having fun with it. I'm pretty powerful with it by this point in the game. But if you're new to the game, hang back and just try to shoot them from a distance as much as possible. Let your teammates run forward, and I wouldn't say that they do a good job killing the enemies, but they do a nice job at least being eaten by the enemies, which takes focus away from you. So that's they're doing the alien mutant ants a service. They're environmentalists. Alright, watch your radar there. We've got a group to the left, a group to the right, and there are spiders in this mission. Spiders are harder than ants, especially when they're alien mutant spiders. Because they shoot those webs at you, which continue to do damage, and then the ants are also shooting at you too. And so actually, this level's pretty tough when you're first starting out. I don't have a specific weapon loadout recommendation for players who are new to this series. I might, if you're playing as infantry, go in there with a machine gun. Maybe bring something like the shotgun. Leave the bazookas and the missile launchers and the grenades at home. You don't want them in this mission. Machine gun will probably do it for you. If you're going in as Wing Diver, first thing play is easy. And then use whatever weapons are not explosive. Once again, you'll find that you do more damage to yourself than the enemies. I mean, you'd think that lobbing a grenade down the hole would do a good job, and it does, except that it's really easy to screw that up, and like one hit and you're dead if you blow yourself up. The flamethrower is not a bad choice for in here either, but most of the flamethrowers, while they look cool in their flamethrowers, don't do a whole lot of damage, so something like the laser chainsaw is a better bet. When your two options are a laser chainsaw and a flamethrower, you know you've done something right that day. Some of the underground missions give you a little more room to fly around, and they can be disorienting and confusing since you can't see very much. That is a bit frustrating, so it helps to play these levels a bit over and over again and learn where the enemies are coming from. But you can kind of tell on the map, so you want to just thin out these swarms. You just don't want to get flooded by enemies, and then take out the stragglers. These are always really good for weapon drops and item drops. Not as good as the beach levels, which we'll get to later, but these are still pretty good to fly around and just quickly pick up new weapons and armor. But I don't really like playing these missions over and over again. They're not my go-to missions, unless I'm trying to score some serious weaponry, which I'll show you on something like level 70 or 80. Fighting that giant Death Queen thing, where you can actually get through that on Inferno, and there's some really good weapon drops because you have a whole lot of teammates with you. And if you can find a way to use them and have a bit of luck, you can get some serious weaponry, but early on you will not be able to play this on Inferno. In fact, even now I really can't get through this mission on Inferno easily. I suppose I could. Might take a few tries. But the moment you the thing with these levels is, even on hardest, the moment you set foot out into the open, into the big caves, they shoot you, and then you're dead. At least this one doesn't have space bees yet, though. Oh, those space bees are a pain.
Artillery unit dispatching as requested. Self-propelled howitzer.
And we're done. So, good times.
Once they arrive, you can get fire.
Thanks for watching. See you next time on Classic Game Room. But not that guy. Get your CGR shirts and glassware at ClassicGameRoom.com. Classic Game Room is brought to you by Magnum Skywolf. CGR is supported by fans on Patreon. Thank you.